Layla,
Hi, Brian.
happy podcast day.
Happy podcast day.
We got 2 virtual episodes in a row. We got one today and then one from Australia, which is wild. When they set it up, they're like, yeah, we're in AEST. And I was like, what the fuck is AEST? I never heard of that time zone. Australia Eastern Standard Time, people. So it's going to be fun doing a couple of virtual episodes. Would you have guessed AEST was Australia Eastern Standard Time?
AEST. If you'd given me enough time, I might have guessed that.
Yeah. It's my bad. You know I'm impatient.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty smart. No, I'm just kidding. I would have never guessed.
You are. You're a smart one. Well, there's a lot going on. Layla and I were talking right before the episode. We'll just catch you up. I was like, hey, have you been watching White Lotus? And she said no. So I'm not going to give you any spoilers because I want you to watch it. Do you have a Max login, like an HBO account?
Yeah, I think so, because that's what Game of Thrones is on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
So you can watch it. You just haven't.
Right. Yeah. No, I have I don't watch TV, really. We don't even, in our new house, we don't have any TVs.
Oh, all right. You're not going to get any TVs?
No.
Oh, well, I mean, there's computers and like phone. There's other ways to watch it.
No, you're right. I just wanted to brag for a second.
I just think that you wanted to brag about not having TVs. Like that makes you evolve. TVs aren't the problem in society anymore. It's like social media. It's cell phones, man. It's not TV.
Okay, when I have 2 small children and to not have TVs in my house, that's a flex.
But do they have iPads?
No.
So then what do you just you make them play outside or what?
Yeah, they play outside or play games or be creative or like whatever. I taught my son how to knit.
You taught your son how to knit?
Yeah. So yeah, we're like super cute now.
What is he knitting?
A scarf.
He made himself a scarf?
Yeah, it's around here somewhere.
But does it look like a scarf or is it like a long ass sock? The first time people knit, it's always like a weird looking thing. Well, but it's your kids, so you got to be like, oh, it's so great.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's god awful, but I love it.
I want to see the scarf. I want you to I want to pause. I want you to wear the scarf. Okay, no, but White Lotus, it covers sexuality in such interesting ways. Like the last 2 seasons have had some level of infidelity going on, where you go to a hotel, people kind of wild out at these hotels, right? Because they're like, I'm away from my life. I'm going to be a sex traveler for a second. This season's in Thailand, so there's already the full moon party and stuff going on that breeds more sexuality. They talk about drugs. They go over a lot of stuff that is, we all kind of go through it.
Yeah.
But it's in your face, Yeah. And this last episode, all right, so this is going to be a spoiler. Okay. So there's an actor in it who was in The Green Mile. Have you ever seen The Green Mile?
No, I've never seen anything. I watched The Matrix for the first time the other day.
The first one?
Yeah, I've never seen The Matrix. Ask me any movie, I've never seen it.
You haven't seen the second or the third? You've just seen the first Matrix. You just watched the first Matrix, the very, very first one.
Yeah. This is the most upset I've ever witnessed, Brian, of me ever.
No, it's actually pretty funny. So when I met my wife, we had been dating for 2 months, and we were supposed to go see her family for Christmas, but then she got COVID. This was 4 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. She got COVID, so we couldn't go see her family because why would we take COVID to the family, right?
Right.
So we ended up going down to San Diego instead, and I spent Christmas with her COVID. I didn't end up getting it, which was a miracle. But what we did was we got a bunch of wine and we just watched The Matrix. We watched all 3 of them in a row because it was when the 4th one was coming out. Mm-hmm. You're 4 behind. And so you're not the first person in my life that I'm close to that had not watched The Matrix. And, my other relationship worked out. So this doesn't mean we can't be friends.
Okay. No, that's fine. Okay. No, I'm good. But also The Green Mile, isn't that like a Marvel? Like a green?
No. The Green Mile. The Green Mile is a movie.
Am I thinking of The Green Goblin?
Yeah, you are. You're thinking about Spider-Man.
Okay, go on. Go ahead.
The Green Mile is a movie about a black man who is unjustly incarcerated in 1940s South. But it's got a little bit of Jesus vibes sprinkled in there. Anyway, there's a crazy inmate in that, and he's in this season. The inmate is in this season of White Lotus. And in this last episode, he has a crazy monologue that I want to talk to you about. So We gotta get you to watch at least that episode so you can
Okay.
just watch the monologue that this guy has. And then we will circle back. So we're making a note, Annie, to circle back on the monologue from season 3 of White Lotus. What else is going on for us? We wanted to talk about breakups today.
Yeah, you said that there's a lot of breakups going on, and I feel like I've been so out of the loop with moving and lots of other things we'll maybe talk about later. But what's going on?
Well, I don't know what's really going on. It was like a new year, new you kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
We also feel out of the loop in spite of the podcast and the fact that we hang out with people. We don't always emotionally hang out with everybody. And we're not checking in, be like, hey, how you doing? Or how are y'all? So what ends up happening for us is my experience is we walk up to someone, we see them somewhere and we're like, hey, how's bro? And they're like, we ain't together no more. One, I always feel like when that happens, I should have known. And then it's like, do I say like, oh, or like, oh, that's good, right? Because usually breakup, like you broke up for a reason. I feel like I should be like, congratulations, you've moved on.
Yeah.
What is the proper, I always feel like, oh, are you okay? But is that the right response?
Yeah, I think that's a very appropriate response. I feel like like I said on the previous episode, I'm really good at like psychoanalyzing people. So I can usually get the gist when they say, oh, we broke up, right? If they're like, oh, we broke up, I'm like, okay, girl, why? If they're like, oh, we broke up, I'll be like, oh my gosh, are you okay? What? And then I'm so inappropriate. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, who broke up with who? Like,
yeah, you want all the details.
Yeah, I get inappropriate.
So you're saying based on the energy they bring when they say they broke up.
Yeah.
So if they say, yeah, we're not together anymore, then you shouldn't be like, fuck yeah, turn up. Like, yeah.
Slay. Yeah.
Layla and I are adding, just pause for a second, everyone. So Layla and I are adding slay to our
lingo. It's our new
personal
lingo.
Our personal urban dictionary. Yeah, because we have a new person on the team and they say slay a lot.
Is she Gen Z?
100%.
100% Gen Z.
So we have a new Gen Z team member, and so she keeps dropping like Gen Z slang in the group chat, and we realized we were old because we didn't know what to say to it.
We're so old now. And so now we're obsessed. We're like, slay, gang.
I was already saying gang, gang. I've been saying that. What's funny too is that Gen Z says bet. Like instead of deal or like you got it, they'll say bet, right?
We say bet.
But like black dudes been saying bet to black dudes for like 20 years. So that one's easy.
Yeah.
And now I felt like they caught up to me. But there's
a term that my kids that are in like elementary school are saying, and I don't know if it's derogatory or not. Do you know what skibbity?
Skibbity?
Yeah.
I have no idea what skibbity is.
I don't either. And my kids are saying it, and I'm like, is this bad? Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Urban.
Well, they'll go next level. They say skibbity toilet.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Skibbity is a word usually used to start a convo, specifically a convo filled with brain rot.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Perfect. They actually have a conversation right here. Person 1, skibbity. Person 2, don't worry, my bruh. I'll get you out of Ohio with my 1-2 buckle, my shoe type riz while we bust it down sexual style. Person 1, kill yourself. So it's like
the only thing I heard is kill yourself. That's the only thing I understood.
It's like when the definition doesn't help out anybody.
Yeah, what's the origin? What's the country of origin, please?
Don't worry, my bruh. I'll get you out of Ohio with my 1-2 buckle my shoe type riz.
You know what? Forget it. I'm never gonna understand skibbity.
Yeah, I don't know that one. Don't worry about that. I think worry about riz, cap, slay, gang, gang, bet. That's all I focus on.
Riz is charisma.
Yep.
Cap is you're lying.
Uh-huh.
What were the other ones?
Gang, gang. Like saying gang, gang.
Is just gang,
like
gang.
crew. Like roll out. Yeah.
Yeah, roll out.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay.
Or
Mm-hmm.
is there other ones?
Yeah, slay,
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 obvious.
yeah, and bet.
Bet. Okay, see, we're cool.
All right, y'all. So no cap. It's been a lot of breakups in the space, and like
Slay.
when I say a lot, probably like no, you don't say slay to that. I mean, like fucking Layla. I hope our friends are entertained by us trying to like.
We have not
So
stayed on topic. We've been doing this for 13
no,
minutes.
so
We're so fucked up. Okay.
no, we are. So the because
We're
I think
so
it's awkward.
silly.
It's awkward to talk about the breakups, right?
It
Because
is. It is.
it wasn't none of them were like, oh, I'm shocked you guys broke up, right? They were all kind of things. In one relationship, it went longer than I thought it was going to go. You know, a couple of them I saw coming. There's some breaks, not like breaks versus breakups. Yeah, why do people take breaks?
I guess it depends on like what the break looks like. Do they like no longer live together? Is the break that they can date other people when they couldn't before? I think it really just depends on what the break is, you know? Yeah, I don't know. Like the people in my immediate little crew, because I live so far, they're all, you know, married, have kids. Like those breakups would be like holy shit, right? Where you live more in LA and you have a bigger crew that are, you know, dating, you know, and things like that. So I don't experience breakups as often as you probably experience them.
So this is a good point, Layla. This is a great point you just made. Fucking genius. There aren't any divorces.
Knock on wood. Where's wood?
There aren't. I mean, I'm hitting my. I mean, okay, it's not like divorce doesn't happen, but none
Right.
of the breakups are like, hey, we're getting divorced.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
these you make a good. There aren't not married people that are breaking up or taking breaks. These were just like they were boyfriend girlfriend for like a year or something like that. Look, man, relationships end all the time, so it's not like breakups are more common or less common in the lifestyle space. Like, because it's a bigger friend group, you might feel like breakups are happening all the time. That's not the case. You just happen to know 200 couples. Who else really knows 200 couples or is around 200 couples? So if 5 break up, you're like, oh no, it's like a, you know, blasphemy. It's a wave, and it's not, right?
And any monogamous person seeking it is going to be like, oh, is it because you guys are lifestyle? They'll automatically assume that, right?
They might assume that. Now, what they are right about is like it might be easier to not have to see your ex if you are not lifestyle, and that is what I really want to talk about today. It is like the etiquette of breakups for everybody else. So one thing I've noticed some people will do is they will alternate events.
Yeah, like, you know, the girl will go to this one, the guy will go to the next one. They don't want to be in the same room because, again, it's not just like a dinner where they can sit on opposite sides of the table. It's like a sex party where you're going to see your ex fucking other people.
I think even if it's not a sex party, I think they're alternating.
Really?
Like, hey, I don't really want to be at the same comedy show with you, or you're going to that concert, then, or I'm going to this concert, so then I don't want you to go to this concert. And so it is like a why are you cringing?
This is awkward. Like, I would just hate to do that.
I mean, look, I don't know.
That puts your friends in a really awkward position too, right?
That's what I'm trying to talk to you about. Does it? Do you feel awkward when that happens?
No, because I'm not changing my behaviors because y'all broke up.
Right.
You know, unless someone did something incredibly fucked up, then I'd be like, don't go to that concert. And if you're there, I'm not going to talk to you.
Oh, unless you heard the drama.
Yeah, if I heard the drama and it was something insane, I don't know. But I don't know. I haven't experienced that.
Here's what I will give a shout out for all the 5 or 6 couples that have broken up. I haven't heard any drama. So y'all are handling it great.
That, or they're just not talking about it.
That's okay. That is how it should be. I don't think you should like talk about it. I don't think everybody shouldn't know the reasons why you broke up.
Right. Sure.
And so I think that they're handling it great. But okay, so they'll often alternate events, and then you'll see them at one, not see them at another one. I won't always. I know I fuck up sometimes, so I'll be like, "Hey, why weren't you at whatever?" It's like, "Oh, that was his event."
Yeah.
Right. It's like having the kids every other weekend, I think. It's like our version of that. Okay. But then where I also get caught up is like, all right, then do I just like, should we just leave them both alone for a while?
No.
You said no.
I think if I was having an event and there was a couple that 2 individual people that I wanted at that event, I would invite both of them and let them handle it. It's not my responsibility to cater to their discomfort. That's codependent. That's not my problem. You can both come. That'd be great. But I'm not going to sit there and ponder, okay, which one? Okay, so they went to the last one, so now I'm going to do this one. And like that's me causing drama.
But is there any part of you that doesn't want to, like, okay, so, all right, so that's just like a social event, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you want us to have a threesome.
Mm-hmm.
Would you, and you know, Susan and Jeff just broke up. These aren't real people. I'm just naming names.
Yeah.
All right, Susan and Jeff, they broke up 2 weeks ago, and you thought about them for a threesome, one of them for a threesome. Would you not invite them because they just went through a breakup? Would you ask Susan if it's okay to invite Jeff? I'm just curious how you would handle the etiquette of, like, in a breakup situation where you usually hang out with the couple as a pair. How would you handle trying to hang out with one of them?
If it was for a threesome situation, yeah, I imagine I probably wouldn't invite one to if I was just as close with both of them, right? I probably wouldn't invite one to a threesome. If I was closer with Susan, right? Me and Susan were more tight than I was with the Jeff guy. Then yeah, of course I would invite Susan. So I think it depends on the closeness I had with them. You know? I don't know. What about you? What would you do?
Man, I avoid the whole thing. I have like an unhealthy level of paranoia. I never want to look like the guy who's like poaching girls, right? So like as soon as you break up, I don't want. Okay, I could be way wrong about this, but this is what I imagine is going on. You know, Jeff and Susan breaks up. Susan's phone starts blowing up, and it's the guys that are like, "Hey, what's up? You want to hang out?" I don't know this is happening, but that's what's happening in my head, right? I don't want to be another number, you know, popping up in the phone. Because that's what, like, I don't know if that happens in the lifestyle space, but that happens in the single space a lot. Like,
Sure.
homegirl's single, and then all of a sudden people are hitting her up.
Let's
you know?
say that they were a couple, Susan and Jeff. You're way closer with Susan than you were with Jeff. Jeff kind of has his own little crew. You and Susan are tight. They've been together for a year. They break up. You want to have a threesome with Susan. Would you still be like, I'm not going to?
If she brought it up, yeah. If, like, that's kind of what I've been doing. Like, I'll kind of wait, and if she's mentioned she wants to hang out, then we'll figure something out. Otherwise,
Okay.
I just leave it alone. I don't want to be, I haven't wanted to be the initiator of it personally.
For the reason that you wouldn't want people to judge you.
Man, I don't even know if it's that emotionally deep. I don't even know if it's about judgment. That's what it
sounds like you said. I don't want to be one of those guys. I don't want people to think that I'm just hitting her up like all those guys.
I think it might be me judging myself. Like, I don't want to.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it would make you feel like a little icky just about yourself.
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I kind of like wait for it to kind of happen naturally or pop up. And man, I wish I could talk to one of these girls who've been through a breakup, because their headspace might be different. They might be like, I wish people were hitting me up.
Yeah, because what if all these people are kind of thinking along the lines that you're thinking of, and then no one's hitting her up, and she's like, I wish that I was still included in the things that I would have been included in.
So you know what's funny about that is I talked to one of the guys recently. I won't give him a name, but he just started opening up about the breakup to me, and he said, I hope people still hit her up. Like, if you would, could you guys message her and hang out? And I was like, oh man, that's really sweet.
That's really sweet.
He's like, I just don't want her to feel like dropped by the crew, or like people
so
picking
he's single
sides.
Now? What? He's so nice. What's he doing? Okay, well,
he's a nice guy.
I want to go back to what you said with let's say you're just as close with this Jeff and Susan guy we made up, okay?
Yep.
And you are having a birthday dinner, right? Where you're inviting like 20 of your closest friends. Would you invite both of them, or would you invite one of them, or would you not invite them at all? They broke up 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago? Oh, yeah. Man. I would invite both of them. I would invite both of them. Let them. Okay, no, but we got to go way back.
Okay.
If they broke up 2 weeks ago, I have no idea they broke up. I find out like a month and a half later. This is in fact how I find out. I will invite people, and then they're like, "Oh, actually, we broke up."
Okay.
But if I just like play your scenario out, yeah, I would just invite both of them. I'll let them figure it out. Anything social or anything social, platonic, like just homies hanging out, going to a concert, miniature golf, whatever, let them figure it out.
What if you're hosting a play party of 50 people?
I would never host a play party of 50 people, but I'm gonna play with it. I'm gonna play.
Okay.
I see where you're going with this. All right. If I was hosting a play party of 50, man, that's a lot to think about. He's
like, what drinks are we gonna have? What's the theme? Like, no, just.
That's what I'm thinking about, the lighting. Like, I gotta talk to my neighbors. So, yeah, I think I would just put them both on the party full invite and let them figure it out.
Okay.
Unless, I mean, you make a good point. Unless, like, I really didn't like one of them in the first place.
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Do you think this is what everybody's doing, where they, like in the crew, are they inviting both of them and they're saying figure it out? Because that's not the experience that I've been hearing of the last couple of years. Like, I have hung out with people that host events, you know, a long time ago, and they're like, oh, we have to invite so-and-so since we invited so-and-so last time. And I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. I think people are handling it differently. I don't think there's a one way to do it or a proper etiquette. I think though, in those situations, they were closer to one person before. So so my experience right now has been how people are handling the breakup is dependent on, did they meet them as a couple, or was one of them in the crew already as a single person, then they brought in a partner and then they broke up, which is probably the same thing with friend groups, period. Right.
Right.
You know, if you met Jeff and Sarah, juntos.
Susan.
Oh, Susan. See, I got to work on my name.
He's already with Susan. Sarah. Yeah, that. What a slut.
This is a great point. All right, so you met Jeff and Susan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they broke up. Now Jeff starts dating Sarah. You're probably closer to Jeff at this point. So then when he breaks up with Sarah, you're like, all right, fuck Sarah. Jeff's the homie.
And so do you stop inviting Susan?
Man, I don't know. I think it's going to depend on who you're closer with. And like the unfortunate thing is like, this is how it starts splitting up friend groups. You know, we have a friend who said something the other day. He was inebriated, but he said something very poetic. He said, B, I just don't think we can never get back to the start.
I don't think we could ever
get back to the start. And I don't know this for sure, but I think what he was referring to in his moment of clarity was that like sometimes the breakups and stuff can create like a rift in the group because you can never go back to the way that it used to be. 3 years ago, some people were with different people and like there was like a vibe and the whole crew could just go to Tahoe and it was a blast. And then some relationships didn't work out and it created a rift. And then some people felt like they had to choose sides, even if they didn't have to, like it might have felt that way. And I think this happens, like, this is not a lifestyle specific thing. This probably happens in religions when like relationships don't work out. And I felt this way in college when someone broke up with somebody else, you know? And I don't know why as humans we feel like we have to like, you know, be loyal to someone at the expense of the other person, or that I can't do both. And what it is about us as humans that puts that pressure on everybody to have my back, or like, you got to be my road dog or my ride or die and not his.
Right.
You know, some couples handle it better than others. And I'm like, what do you think makes some couples handle it better than other couples?
I think emotional intelligence, maturity, more so than anything, really. You know, like if my husband and I broke up, I imagine I'd probably get invited more than he does because I'm more way more in the crew than he is. Like, we actually have very separate lives. Like, we're so stupid in love, but we have completely different friend groups, and we have a couple that like are in the middle, but like I go to parties usually by myself or with other people, you know? So
yeah, I think you're right. All right, let me ask you one more question about this.
Okay.
New scenario.
Okay.
We'll call them James and Sasha, just to keep the letters the same.
Yeah.
All right, so James and Sasha, you kind of know James. James started dating Sasha, brought her around a couple times. Then they broke up. But you have Sasha's number. Are you allowed to message Sasha and be like, hey, what's up? Or should you talk to James first?
What am I saying what's up for? What's my intention?
You know what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Ooh. If I was really close with James, I think I would hit James up first and ask if it was okay. I imagine if James and I were really close, I would already know the nature of them breaking up. If it was as simple as like, look, we're just like not for each other in that way, cool. If she did something to break his heart or something like that, I wouldn't even ask him. So I think it's kind of the nature of their breakup. And if I didn't know, I think I would still probably ask him first because my relationship with James is more important to me than my relationship with Sasha.
Got it. Okay. Do you think it's different coming from a guy than a girl? Let's say I wasn't asking this question. Let's say it was my wife. Mm-hmm. And she's like, can I hit up Sasha?
Mm-hmm.
Even the fact that you're so pensive about it tells me it feels a little different, doesn't it?
Okay.
If she was saying like, let's go do our nails, then
right.
Fine.
Is your wife and James close?
No closer than no. We'll say no.
Well, then, no, I don't think that matters. I think that she can hit Sasha up.
Then let's say they are close.
Then I would imagine that she should hit James up first. I do think it still applies.
This is so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know.
This is why I don't message anybody. This is exactly why. This is why I don't message anybody. Because then it gets.
If you guys are a couple and you break up, you are dead to Brian.
You are both. Yeah, you're permanently deceased. Like you're not like in the coffin, but you're like, they got the paddles. Like the paddles are coming out soon, right? To bring you back to life. To me, because I love you both as people. I just don't want to get caught up in the drama. And I think that's the point I'm trying to get at, Layla. It's not so much I'm afraid of looking like an asshole. It's like the asshole's in the eye of the beholder, right? Because you're like, hey, it depends on like who's close and who feels close. But that's how we feel. How the other person feels, how James feels is like he can say whatever he wants, and feel however he wants.
Has that happened to you where you have reached out to someone in a couple and it did cause drama?
No, because I've never done it, but it happened once where I reached out to someone because I didn't realize they were dating. And I reached out to the girl because she told me to reach out to her. Mm-hmm. And the guy was mad. He's like, you should have hit me up first to make sure that was okay.
Were you and that guy close?
He brought her to the event. I mean, I knew him. We didn't know her. But
okay.
But it wasn't like I found her on Instagram and like hit her up.
Right.
She was like, here's my number. Text me. Okay. I just did what I was told to do. But it turned into something.
Do you think you did anything wrong there? Or do you think that guy was...
No. I didn't feel like I did anything wrong. But someone later said, oh, yeah, you should have hit him up. But I was like, she told me to text her. I don't...
Yeah, and you and this guy weren't even close enough for you to know that they... I think if you weren't close enough with that person to know that they broke up a month and a half ago, I think it's fair game.
Man, I think you could break up with your husband and I might not know for 2 or 3 weeks. Like, unless you... Well, you would call me.
I can't take a shit without calling you and
you
being
would
like,
call
guess
me
what?
Though. But unless you call me, I'm not naturally... You know what it is? I'm not on Instagram either. So I just miss stuff. Like, I'm just like, oh man, you had a kid. Like, literally, I talked to a friend. I talked to a friend like 2 weeks ago. And he's like, yeah. I was like, what are you doing this weekend? He's like, I'm hanging out with my kid. I was like, you have a child? And I've like seen him in the last year multiple times for like at professional dinners. He just never mentioned he had a kid. It was it wasn't the space to have a personal conversation. So sometimes it's like, was that on me or was that on him?
Right. It's this weird line.
Anyway. All right. So this, I hope the breakups do like, well, I'm going to say I hope they stop, but again, shout out to everybody who handles a breakup.
Rip.
Shout out to you if you're handling a breakup responsibly, because it makes it easier on everybody else. And I love how, in spite of like, I know it's painful, I know it sucks, I know it's probably like a little challenging because it's kind of public within the space at least. But like, you're handling it great. Thanks for not pulling us all into it.
Yeah, it's not our problem.
We'd hang out with any of you guys. Just you know, text us. You know,
I just want to fuck your ex-girlfriend. It's not a big deal. Just let me do it.
So yeah, and vice versa. I'm sure my wife wants to. You know, okay. Now we need to update some stuff because we haven't been updating in a while. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Real fast though, there's something happened to you recently, and I don't know if you're ready to talk about it yet. If you're not ready to talk about it, we can save it. Or if you don't know how to talk about it, we can save it for later. I'm not going to cut this part. I want people to know something's happening, but
okay.
And I think it's cool for them to see us like choose not to open up about some things too.
Yeah, no, I have actually been thinking about this literally since it happened, just because like I do like to talk about the good and the bad things that are happening in my life. I'm not entirely sure how relatable this one is, but I'll talk about it and then we can cut it later if I feel weird about it. But honestly, it is weird. Okay. So we moved recently again for the billionth time because we had a house fire at our old house. We've been renting in and out.
Well, can I pause you for a second?
Sure.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, you can talk about what happened without giving the whole story too. You can just be like, listen, I got this happened to me. This happens to a lot of people. I think it does happen to a lot of people. I think the whole narrative doesn't. I think where it came from doesn't matter, but I think like what happened is relatable.
Well, I think the narrative makes me feel more comfortable to talk about it.
Oh, does it? All right.
Yeah, and I'll be brief.
Okay. Continue.
To make a very long story short, you know how there's always an Adderall shortage, like all the time. And back in November, we got some extra Adderall from a trusted friend. We didn't end up having to use it. While we moved, I lost my medication. And I take my Adderall 3 times a day. And I was like, oh, I've remembered so-and-so gave me some of his, so I'll just take that. And so I was doing that 3 times a day for like a week and a half. I'm not sleeping. I'm not eating. I start to get really paranoid. It gets to a point where I am walking up and down the street talking to myself. I think that I'm having hallucinations. I'm seeing shadow people. It's getting really scary. My derealization, which I get from time to time because like I'm a trauma girly, and I'm just like, this has been really intense lately. I pull off on the side of the road, have a full-blown panic attack. I call my husband and I'm like, you need to take me to the hospital because I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm freaking out. He takes me to the hospital and they're like, your amphetamine levels are really high. And I'm like, that's strange because I take the lowest dose of Adderall. And it wasn't until the next day. They're like, okay, do you want to kill yourself? I'm like, no. They're like, okay, go home. I'm like, okay, thanks for nothing. I go home. My husband's like, oh, I found your Adderall prescription. And I went, wait a second, Adderall. And I looked at the medication that my friend gave me and I start doing some research online. The medication he gave me was pure methamphetamine. It was from a pharmacy in Mexico, pure methamphetamine. And I was in a full-blown meth-induced psychosis for a week. And I didn't get out of my psychosis until like 5 days ago.
Yeah. So I think the relatable part of this, I'm trying
it's
to find
so
what it is.
embarrassing. I work in substance abuse. I consider myself sober. I picked up my 14-year sobriety chip in AA high on methamphetamine.
Yeah, but you didn't know you were taking meth.
No, I didn't even get to enjoy it because I didn't know.
I don't think that's like the goal. And then you were taking 3 of them a day, right?
Yes.
You were doing your normal.
Yeah, because my Adderall,
See,
I have a really high metabolism, so it usually only lasts like 3 or 4 hours, and meth works for like 8 hours. So I'm building it.
yeah. So how do I say about this? What's so like? Here's the thing. It's not like you were fiending. You didn't go out there to try to find a drug dealer. You weren't
No.
trying to do anything illicit. You were like, hey, listen, I'm out of something. I can't get the prescription. I lost my supply. I'm going to ask for some from a friend. This happens all the time
Yeah.
with people, right? Like it's happened with Adderall between the two of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you're like, hey, I don't have something. Do you have something? I'm like, yeah, I do. Here you go,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, maybe technically we're not supposed to be giving people our prescriptions, right? Um, but why wouldn't you help a friend who needs like some ibuprofen,
Right.
right? These are friends, and so I think more so like he got it. It's like it's the Sometimes I think about this in life, like the amount of trust that's required for you to go to Trader Joe's and buy that apple. You got to trust where they got it from,
Right.
and then there's like all these layers of trust for you to feel like I can eat this apple, and like you trusted this person, but at some level in his trust line, something broke down,
Right.
right? And so I'm sorry that you went through that. I don't actually think
Yeah.
you're wrong for anything that you did. I think you just got caught up with something that, you know,
I'm just like so embarrassed, like I'm so embarrassed. Like my behaviors were embarrassing. Also, this was all happening in my luteal phase. So I was already crazy. And I've never had no sleep for a week. I've never not slept for like a week. So on top of the regular meth weirdness, I'm not sleeping. And
yeah,
I felt like I was dreaming. Everything wasn't real. And I kept walking around asking people, is this a dream? Am I real? Are you mad at me? Where am I? How did I get here? Like, I was insane. It was really fucking scary. I thought something just snapped in my brain finally, because you know how I have all my disorders that I like to diagnose
oh
myself
yeah,
with.
yeah. You're waiting for the snap.
I
Yeah,
was waiting. And so I thought that this was it. And I thought I was done for, and I, uh, I just kept walking around and telling people, no one's helping me. No one's helping me. And everyone's like, what do you need help with? And I'm like, no one's helping me. And they're like, hello? What are you talking about? And I would just like cry all day and I was just crazy. And also, because it was meth, I kept like clawing at myself and like grabbing myself and like leaving claw marks and stuff. And everyone's like, are you self harming? I'm like, not on purpose.
yeah. So where were your kids during all this? You're just like trying to parent while going through this.
Yeah, so like it was funny because my parents are laughing, since I told them this. Of course, they were very concerned too, but my mom was laughing because she was like, on top of all of this, you were an incredible mom, because I'd be like, I'm freaking crazy. And then I'm like, oh, hi, honey. Like, do you want some chicken nuggets? Like I was able to snap back into like good mom mode. And then they walk away and I'm like, like it was, but also we were moving that week too. So we were in the middle of a
So
move.
yeah.
So my
So
parents were always there. I had friends there. My husband was there. There was a lot of people always around. So that's why everyone was so confused because I was never by myself. So people are like, why do you say you need help? Like, we're here helping. And I'm like, where is everyone? They're like, we're right here.
yeah, you know what's so funny is that you're going through the move, but I had a feeling something was off.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
You
I had a
called
feeling something
it.
was off, and so I think I just texted you as like one line, and I was like, "Hey, are you good?"
Yeah. And I was like, how does he know? But again, I'm not sure if I even knew yet. And so then of course I'm all more paranoid. And I'm like, what is going on? What are people seeing that I'm not seeing? And then eventually I called you. I was like, okay, are you sitting down?
So stupid. But okay, but look, I think it's important to share though, Layla, because it could happen to anybody. The pill is so just so people know, they manufacture this stuff in Mexico. They bring it over in powder format into the US and then they press it in the US in their own labs. And they press it to make it look the same way that Adderall looks. Like it has the same number on it. They put the line right down the middle where you would cut this pill in half if you had a
Mm-hmm.
normal pill, because sometimes you cut the 10 into a 5, whatever, with a pill cutter. The only way you would know it was different is the color.
Yeah, it was orange and also it was oval. It wasn't a circle like my other Adderall. So it was an oval, it was orange, and it was it wasn't pressed as tight.
Yeah. Right. It didn't seem professionally pressed. It like broke apart easy. Like,
Yeah.
so look, thank you for sharing that. I think it's important. I'm glad you're doing better. I'm
So
glad you're doing better.
embarrassing.
My wife and I have a rule not to do other people's party favors.
Yeah.
And we generally stick to that unless it's like we're at that house with just the two of them. But even that can get you into trouble sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And it is like the scariest thing because it's one of those things where like once you take it, you can't go back.
Right.
You can't get off the train.
It could have been anything. It really could have been anything, you know? And I know that most of us have like the fentanyl strips for party favors, and there are other more in-depth tests that can tell you, you know, if there's anything in this substance. There's also a free anonymous lab in Canada. And we could put this in the show notes, Annie, I'll send this to you, that you can anonymously send over to Canada and they will send you back the results with everything that's in that drug or that pill. So that's something too.
But at the end of the day, it's like you were also lucky that there wasn't fentanyl in it.
So
you know,
lucky.
That like you're like, I'm taking Adderall. I probably don't need Narcan for this.
Right. Right. Like it seemed so innocent. It seemed so innocent and like it almost ruined my life. Like
Yeah.
I was thinking about jumping off a bridge, you know, like it almost ruined my whole fucking life and my family's life, you know? And it's interesting. And you're right, Brian. I think it actually is probably more relatable than I'm giving it credit for. Because I had a friend that was reaching out to me during that time and I was in psychosis, so I didn't know if she was real. And so I called her after I kind of came out of it and she was like, wait a second. She goes, you know, my husband and I, we got the same thing. And she sent me a picture and she's like, was this it? And I was like, yes, throw that away immediately. And she was like, my husband started taking that this week and he said he felt weird. And I was like,
Yep.
it's meth. She was like, holy
Yep.
shit, I'm so glad I talked to you.
Yeah.
So if you're getting Adderall from anyone that other than your prescriber, it might be meth.
Yeah. And then like, don't trust that your friend who has it got it from their prescriber.
Right.
I think that's what we're saying. It's like you actually went to someone who you thought had a prescription, but that's not how they were getting their Adderall.
Yeah.
And now you got caught up. So, man, people, take care of yourselves.
Yeah.
We never end the show that way. We say try something or try someone
like
new.
that. Please
also,
don't make me.
take care of each other. We want to do quick updates on things. Hey, and thank you for sharing that because I know that was like really, really fresh, but I'm glad you're doing great.
Thank you.
Couple things going on.
I have to know about the gym couple. That's my favorite update of all time.
So what did I say last time?
That your wife did the photo shoot with her.
They did the photo shoot. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, I'm going to nip that one in the bud for now. They have become like this.
Okay, cute.
They do butt day together.
That's right.
Like 3 days a week at the gym. They went, my wife got lip filler the other day.
How's it look?
For the first time. She likes it.
Okay. Enough said.
You know, and I'm it's growing on me.
It grew on her. Now it's growing on you.
It grew on her. It grew on me. We had she probably won't want me to talk about this, but we had a really deep conversation about like where all that's coming from in her. Cause I think that just real fast, like I think that you women especially are like under attack on social media. I didn't realize this until I started kind of paying attention to my wife's social, and I would look at like what Instagram feeds her versus what it feeds me. Even on the like, you know, you hit the search bar.
Oh my God.
I'm
going to send you my search. You're going to die, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
It's like fucking crazy. Cause like mine's is just so you, for people who don't know, like you should really go check your partner's search page to see what they get. Cause I think for a lot of women, you think that we're just getting fed models and we're not.
Right.
I get like memes, basketball videos, sports stuff. It'll drop an occasional Instagram model in, but otherwise like there isn't models. But when I looked at my wives, it was all just like makeup, butt workouts. Like here's like even the workouts weren't even like arm day, ab day. It was just like all ass. Every single one was like how to make your ass bigger. So I'm like, man, it's just constantly feeding you what you don't like about yourself. It's like it figured out what you think you're not enough
she's
with.
Creating her own algorithm, right? She's creating her own algorithm based on the content that she's engaging with and watching the most of. So she's watching a lot of these videos herself. So I don't necessarily think it's social media's fault. I think that that's what she's engaging with the most.
For sure.
Okay,
And it
I just
figured
sent you
it out.
mine.
I know I'm looking at it right now. We got to share this with people. I don't even know. It's like pure AI memes.
It's brain rot. It is the biggest brain. But see, there's a girl with a big butt in it. But it's not for working out. It's because I like girls with big butts. But like my shit's brain rot. Hers is ass workouts. Yours is basketball. Like it's what we're engaging with.
Which is also brain rot. It's just giving us brain rot and whatever it thinks will like keep us on there the longest. And I think that with her, it was like trying to make her feel insecure. So anyway, like, so she did lip filler with this girl. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent here, but like, I'm supportive of my wife and whatever she does. Like, she's a beautiful person, and I think she could try whatever she wants, and I'll be supportive of it. I like that this friendship has evolved because she went with, Gym Girl and got the lip filler from Gym Girl's cousin. It was like a whole family thing.
Cute.
So I like that friendship has evolved. I'm leaving it alone from a standpoint of I'm proud of myself for walking up to this gym couple and kind of asking them out. And from that, we got a really cool friendship. But I doubt that it evolves past that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine, right?
Yeah.
So I'm happy with it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's leave it at that. So that is the end of the gym couple story. For now, people, for now. If something changes, you will be the second ones to know. I'm going to tell Layla first.
Yeah.
Okay. What's going on with Clyde?
Clyde's good. I still haven't seen him, which is fine. You know what's... He doesn't listen, so I feel more comfortable saying this. But there was I think it was like during my psychosis, which is just so funny to say. And he was texting me so much that I had to like silence his chat, which is so funny because I was all like, I want someone to want me. And then he wants me and I'm like, okay, relax. Like, don't want me too hard. But it was actually really cute because he's like, hey, it's almost my birthday, and he hasn't had a lot of like lifestyle type of experiences, and he's like, I want to have a threesome, maybe a foursome with you, my wife, and maybe another girl. And I was like, I have the perfect girl for you. And I'm sure she won't mind us saying this, but I'll ask her anyway. It was Vanessa.
Okay.
So I reached out to her. I'm sending pictures, of everybody, and everyone's like, yes, dope, love it, let's go. And that was before I went into my psychosis.
Oh, snap. Oh, so that hasn't happened yet.
No. It was supposed to happen last Wednesday. And on Tuesday, everyone's like, all right, cool, let's go. And I'm like, you guys can go, but I'm on a different planet. I'm not allowed to drive.
See, you're like, I cannot do it. You backed out.
I did. Of course, it's me who backs out, but also I'm too embarrassed to tell them why. So I'm like, I don't feel good, but I'm like, like clawing my skin off. I'm like, I don't know, I'm just tired. So we're rescheduling that. But it was really sweet because eventually I did end up telling Clyde like a couple of days later. I'm like, listen, in full transparency, like this is what's going on. And he was so precious. He's like, I'm getting ready to go on a trip. When I get back, we don't have to hook up. We don't have to do anything. Like, please just come over. I just want to hold you and just like take care of you. And
that's sweet.
Yeah. So
that's sweet. Yeah.
It's still kind of that slow burn. It's not, it's fine. I'm happy with where it's at right now. I just wish that foursome happened, but it will. It will happen.
I mean, you picked a great person for it. I'm glad I had her on the podcast, so you have that closer relationship now.
Honestly, yeah, because I mean, she was always this like beautiful little butterfly across the room that I was like, holy God. And then once I got to like talk to her more, like we'll text every now and then and like send each other memes on Instagram, and I'm just like, because I mean, I always thought she was beautiful. But it wasn't until I met her like face to face in person where I was like, you could do whatever you wanted to me at any time.
Well, she's also cool and down and like a good person that she's really conscious of like how she is in a dynamic like that. So I think it'll be a fun time. I'm pumped for you. I'm glad that it's still going well. Yeah. And like stop making it hard on him. Yeah. Let him text you as much as he wants. Like
I know.
that's what you wanted. Man, humans, we're so funny. We get exactly what we said we wanted, and then we're like, fuck this, I hate it. Man, shut up. All you unhappy married people, you wanted to be married. You like dreamed of marriage at one point, and now you hate your partner. So full of shit. Get your shit together.
I know, we're insane.
Okay, the story that I want to add before we wrap up, and we debated whether we wanted to talk about this or not. I have been thinking about taking a new supplement, fitness wise, and I've been hard no on taking testosterone or steroids or things like that.
Well,
I'm just like
steroids,
hard
I
no on
understand,
it.
but why not testosterone? That's not a big deal.
I just don't feel like I need it yet. Like I'm not of that age group. Maybe at some point I'll take it, but I've been pretty hard no. But you guys, podcast listeners, you know I tried the trimix thing, and so I'm willing to try new things. And so I have been debating taking peptides, and a friend of mine's been really hyping it up for me, and like he did the research already. He like sent me exactly his supplier. He's like, here's exactly what you need. I'll do the first set with you, so he's kind of walking me through it.
What are peptides?
I'm not exactly sure what they do, or what it is. But what it's supposed to do is like increase like your fat burning. And I think what's been happening for me as I get older. So all you older guys can probably relate to this. All you younger guys, it's fucking coming for you, right? So just know this is happening. Is that you get older and like my muscle mass isn't really changing, but my body isn't burning fat the same way it used to. It's almost like it's storing it faster than ever, which is kind of crazy. Like my diet hasn't really changed. I'm still running a lot, doing a lot of cardio, but I'm just not getting the same kind of reaction from my body that I used to. Because like I'm 38, people. It's just it's just happening. So I'm trying to get like a boost from the peptides, and so the peptides are supposed to help with like the fat burning and things like that, and dietary control. So my arc's kind of interesting because I used to be like really anti Ozempic and anti testosterone and things like that because of the side effects. And now here I am, like, hey, I'm down to try this. I think the biggest mindset shift I've had, Layla, is that I don't have to do it forever. I can try this for 2 months and decide, or 2 or 3 months, and I decide I don't want to do it anymore. It's not like a permanent thing. And I think that's the thing that got me past a lip filler with my wife also. It's like, it's not like she's saying she wants lip filler forever. She just wants to do lip filler right now. Mm-hmm. And so when I think about it, like dyeing your hair or a new haircut that you want to try, it's not permanent.
Right.
So because of that, I've been able to like find grace for others and permission for myself to try something new.
Good for you. When are you going to start?
We have to do it once a week. So I can start it in 2 weeks because I'm going to Mexico next week. I'll start it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, just don't get it at any pharmacies in Mexico.
No, we're no more Mexican drugs. That is like lesson of the day. Thank you, Layla, for wrapping that up.
Yeah, you're welcome. Full circle moment.
All right. Well, we'll wrap it up right there, huh?
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today, people. We hope that you learned something or you related to something. If you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe because we're growing like crazy and we love all the support. We love the strangers on the street coming up to us saying, hey, do you have a podcast? Which makes us realize our masks aren't enough, but pumped, like excited that it's making a difference for you. So keep up the encouragement. We really love it. And until we see you next time, try something or try someone new. Just not Mexican Adderall.
Just don't try Mexican Adderall. That's not
that
new.
Is the one.
Don't do that one.
Thing. We should do a list of things not to try new. Don't like try things new, not on the list. Bye, people.
Bye.